What? Oh, my. So I can't be more proud of my daughter, my new son. This is an amazing event. We have family, we have uncles and aunts and grandparents. My father couldn't make it, but he's here in spirit, and just an amazing event. And I want to thank everyone for coming. I can't speak any louder.
Tell him, Mr. Clark.
You can comment if you want. I'd like to thank Gus Polanski for coming. He's the matriarch of the Polanski clan, Air Force veteran, and he is Barbara's grandfather and Barbara's father and Rachel's grandfather.
Attaboy, Gus.
My father couldn't make it, but I want to thank him, because without him, we wouldn't have this. And so I want to thank him. He wasn't feeling very well today due to the smoke. I'll talk to him about it later, but he did the right thing not coming. He's 94 years old. So I'm going to do the obligatory things, you know, like you talk a little bit about the groom and a little bit about your daughter, the bride. So I guess got to say, if you know Tony, it seems like we've already been family with Tony and his family. I think it's 10 years, is that right, guys? We've done a lot together already. We've been to the shore, we've gone to the Dominican Republic on vacation together. Tony's an avid fisherman, and he's really good at it, and he prepares, he's meticulous, and him and Rachel have competition periodically. I will say, recently we went fishing in the Alaire State Park, and Tony got a whopper. How big was that fish? About 6.5 inches? And they made me take a picture of the damn thing. And it was backlit, thank God. I said, lie about it. It's 6.5 feet. It was a largemouth bass. They don't get that big, right? And they only get about 2 or 3 feet. But anyway, Tony, thank you. I love fishing. One of the things of blending the two families together is, you know, it's amazing the commonality of interests that we all have. Inappropriate political discussions, that's one of the things. Talking about religion inappropriately, that's another thing both families embrace, which I certainly am one that always does that. Won't do it here, I promise Rachel I would do nothing. Right, Rachel? None of that. Before I go on, I have to cut it short, but I want to, let me finish. There'll be no kazoo playing. I brought a kazoo, but there'll be no kazoo playing. There'll be no rugby songs, which I was going to do. There will not be, because I respect everything going on here. I was going to do Sir Jasper, Do Not Touch Me, but I'm not doing that. All right, so going on. Let's talk about both kids. I mean, these kids, Tony is amazing. He was a D1 athlete. The guy is the hardest worker I know. He's a first responder and a fireman. He's an integral part of his dad and family business. He's a coach. He's a freaking wrestling coach. At Bergen Catholic, right? Is it Bergen Catholic? No, see, no, just kidding. No, I don't like Bergen Catholic. And he gives private lessons for wrestling, which is tremendous. I can't think of a better son-in-law and someone who I trust with my daughter, and I mean that. I'm all joking aside. I can't think of anyone. And I will say this for my other kids. I am so lucky. 3 weddings in less than a year, and I can't say enough how much I love the families and the kids. It's just amazing. They tolerate me. The only one that doesn't tolerate me has the initial BAC. So, now let's get on to my daughter. We have to do those snippets about her life growing up. This is under 5 minutes though, right? All right, give it a So Rachel had a very interesting childhood. She was the baby of the family. Actually, her moniker is Baby Doll. I call her the little baby doll. And And I actually cried thinking about it.
There's no time now.
That's not phony, it's actually real. So her nickname was Runaway Rachel because you could take her shopping, you could take her to the amusement park, you could take her fishing, and she'd disappear. Some of her favorite places were like clothes racks and stores where she'd disappear and I'd have to go to the front of the store and have her page. Now this next example, my wife told me not to say because it would reflect on my parenthood, but I don't give a hell anymore. One day I had her, Barbara was doing something, Rachel was probably about my grandson's age, little David's age, and I was responsible. She waited for me to take a nap. And then as soon as I fell asleep, she opened the front door, went down the street, crossed a busy road, and went to her friend's house. Therefore, Runaway Rachel. Luckily, the friend called me, actually called Barbara, and Barbara woke me up from my sleep, and I was upset, actually, because I was having a nice dream. Going on, Rachel also had great experiences with her brothers and sisters. The two I will mention is, I don't know, she's not, has no record, she's not, clean. But her brother took the Barbara Power Wheels and drove it down her street with Rachel and was pulled over by the Teaneck police. Now you might say, do the Teaneck police have anything better to do? But actually that's probably right, because it's dangerous, they shouldn't be on. The sad thing is, Rachel cajoled her brother, or was it the other way around, to go back in the car and he arrested them again. The other story I'll tell, there's a lot of them, and I am going to almost end this, is the elephant toy box. How many of you had one of those big plastic toy boxes that you put all your kids' toys in? Can I see it? Is that something you guys still do? Well, Barbara and I were away, and David and Caitlin, you may call Little Bijou, she's my little Bijou, were responsible to look after poor Rachel. So what they thought would be cool is, wouldn't it be cool to sit in the elephant toy box and go down the big stairwell? And so what they said is, let's have Rachel go in the toy box and see if it's safe. So she was the toy box crash dummy, went down the stairs, and she did great. She came out unscathed, and then David and Caitlin, of course, then went on and did it after that. All right. I'm going to finish it. Don't worry. I was going to talk more about the sports, but I won't belabor it. I'll just say she survived a lot of father time talking about techniques in soccer. Being a rugby player, I know nothing about soccer. I actually detested soccer until she started playing. But anyways, she survived all that, and I will say that I love you guys, and I love everyone here. I mean, the family members, my friends I haven't seen in years. You guys are tremendous. Thank you for these guys put all of this together with the help of this great staff here. I mean, they did it. I mean, my wife did a lot too, and I only detracted a slight amount. So I just want to thank everyone, and I wish you the best of all things. I love you so much.